Coming up next, we shall be taking a look at Trending with Curtly right after this break.
Now, salutations and the top of the morning it is to you viewers. Thank you so much for staying with us here on your premium breakfast show. That is a Good Morning Zimbabwe. All things to do with the excitement of a brand new season, a brand new year, and yes, brand new trends here on a Trending with Curtly. Now, my name is Curtly Gwindi, Kurt by name and not by nature. As been alluded to, every Wednesday we bring in a special guest that of course motivates, trends, inspires and speaks to the core of each and every one of you, our audience. And this week is no different because the year 2024 that we've come up from had its own ups and downs. Now, some failed to fulfill their resolutions and ambitions. And for the opening of the year 2025, some have continued to make resolutions. Now, yes, we're talking about those who are in my gym, those who are changing their spirituality, those who are changing even the way they do business. We're going to talk about all that and more. And to discuss this and on how one can achieve and rather not fail on that Trending with Curtly today, we have a motivator, an inspirator, as well as someone who is currently trending with a few clips that you may have come on social media to be across, as well as a few memes. Yes, we are talking about none other than no stranger to our program here. This is Venon Chamba. Yes, the man in green. Thank you so much for joining us.
You're very welcome.
And yes, it is a pleasure to be having you, Pastor Venon Chamba. All things to do with the trends. I must say that it's a new year. How are you feeling about it?
No, I feel very much overjoyed, happy, and we are so much grateful to God for the gift of life and everything that is happening in our lives.
Yes, yes, indeed. And we are talking all things to do with the trends. We do know that here on this program, we featured a few of the art forms that you've produced. Obviously, as we begin the year, let's zero back into the idea of having resolutions, of setting aside certain ways in which they want to operate, and perhaps they say it with their mouths, perhaps speak it into existence and do it. But how can one begin? Let's just go back to the drawing board. How does one set resolutions?
Well, once again, thank you so much for the opportunity, Uncle Curtly. It's a blessing plus to be here again. You know, every time I get here, I always feel like a nurse at a doctor's convention.
I like that.
I'm really humbled. So, you know, the issue with resolutions, it's a very good thing because people, there's this saying I like, which says that a goal without a plan is just a wish. So people, before they venture into the new year, obviously there is a great need for preparations and a lot of planning. And one might think and cogitate that she or he failed in the previous year. It's not a failure. You never failed. But God was just preparing you for the good news and the new fresh blessings which is coming in this year, 2025. So it depends with how you take it. And also people, I think they have to stick to their resolutions. Be determined. Do not give up. Do not despair. No matter what you go through, just be optimistic and continue having a lot of faith.
Continue having a lot of faith. I like that. Now, a resolution is drawn as something that perhaps someone wants to materialize, but is still is still on your tongue, or is still within the mind, or it's still within the actualization process. How important is having faith, or being someone who is perhaps speaking using the power of the tongue to constantly remind yourself that you need to achieve something? You know, there is the saying that they obviously continue to reiterate that death and life lie in the power of the tongue. Or how we used to say a goal is just a dream with a deadline. How important is having faith as well as using that faith to burst out some of these resolutions through your tongue?
Yeah, having faith, it's very momentous because you cannot achieve anything without having faith. Even if we are to refer to the Word of God, the Bible in itself, it says that everything that you receive without faith is sin. Can you imagine the Bible saying that when you receive anything, whether it's a blessing in form of a car, in form of a house, whatever you receive without faith, it's considered as a sin. So that is exactly how faith is very important. So without faith, you cannot achieve much.
So can I continuously achieve? Because I know I'm that kind of guy who says, by the end of the year, I'm going to have this certain car. By the end of the year, I'm going to own this certain property. Is that going to help me achieve it just by speaking, or there's also other processes after that?
There is a need for action. Because the faith without action, faith without works is dead.
It's dead.
Yes. So I think a lot of people, they are very much optimistic. They do have a lot of faith, but at the end of the day, they do nothing. There are no works. They are doing nothing to accompany their faith. So faith, it works hand in hand with the actions. What are you doing? Works. So a lot of that is the problem with a lot of Christians. They visit the prayer mountains, they read the Bible, they fast. You know, during the start and the beginning of the year, you know, there's this notion of people having 10-day fasts. After fasting, what are you doing? Do you have a business? What are you doing? Do you have a project? So if you have faith without anything that you are doing in life, you will not prosper. So that is the reason why a lot of people, they wonder, why are we not prospering and yet we have faith? Do you have works that will work hand in hand with the faith?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
And, powerful indeed. Now, of course, we have a certain manner in which we start our year here on Trending with Curtly, and you've had the honor this year as we wind up the beginning of January. I mean, as we wind up the month of January, the beginning of the year, perhaps set for us, our viewers, our listenership, the inspirational word of the year for 2025.
Wow, thank you. That's a beautiful question. There are a lot of blessings that God is now ready to release upon his offsprings, upon nations, upon governments, upon individuals, upon the God-fearing. And according to the Jewish calendar, we are in the year 5785. So if you notice on those 4 digits, 5785, there are 2 5s, 5 in the start, 5 in the end. And 5 is a spiritual number that signifies grace. So in other words, we are in the year of double grace. God is going to give us double grace in our businesses, in our vision, in our health, in all areas of our lives. There is going to be double grace. There's never been a year like 2025. It's a great year. It's a great year, and we should just be ready to receive.
Oh, yes.
And there is this colossal financial outbreak that God is about to pour upon the earth. Money and serious wealth is going to be handed over into the hands of the God-fearing. God is ready to bless and to raise even God-fearing nations, God-fearing leaders, God-fearing business persons, entrepreneurs, and the believers. So it is indeed a great year.
We love that. We love that. And obviously, as we conclude and have the conversation come to an end, our nation, Zimbabwe, has been at the peak of moving from strength to strength. Maybe briefly comment where we're coming from and where we're going as a nation.
Zimbabwe is a blessed country. Zimbabwe is a God-fearing nation. I admire even what our president, our leader, who is also God-fearing. You always talk about God, and you see everything that he does. You can see that his ways are very godly. So it's a guarantee for us as the Zimbabwean citizens that God's blessings are going to manifest upon this nation. Why? Because we do have a God-fearing leader. Yes.
They say everything rises and falls on leadership.
That is so true.
Yeah.
That is so true.
Pastor Venon, thank you.
Zimbabwe has been through a lot of things, but time has come. It is time for this nation to rise and to prosper.
Pastor Venon, thank you. An inspirator, motivator, as well as a speaker. We appreciate your contributions here on Trending with Curtly. We look forward to more content in 2025.
You're most welcome, Uncle Curtly.
And how do people get in touch with you if they want to hear from the man himself?
They can visit my social media handles. We are on IG, Facebook, under the name VENON Tapuanashi, Venon Tapuanashi Chamba. Yes, Facebook we are there, IG we are there, TikTok we are there. So they can just get a hold of me there. Reach
Salute.
out.
Thank you.
And
we appreciate your
you.
time here and contribution here on Good Morning Zimbabwe. We've had Pastor Venon come through with the inspirational word of the year here on Trending with Curtly like never before. The pace has been set at the end of the month of January here on Good Morning Zimbabwe. Now we move a little bit further, but please make sure you catch up with all our stories here on our social media pages. That is at Trending with Curtly. My official pages once again at Curtly Gwindi for all this and more if you had missed any segment or any section of it. Now we take the stories to our Montreux studio where Toko is on standby, and yes, I hope she's feeling as motivated as we are. Good morning, Toko.
Thank you very much, Curtly. Good morning to the rest of the team from Focus Studio site there in Harare, and to the viewers at home. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Thokozani Mgandla, coming to you live from Montreux Studios right here in Bulawayo.